Okay, hi everyone, Tim again from North Toronto Baseball with another groundskeeping video. Now we're ready to chalk the first and third baselines. This is not optional, this is very important for the game and for the umpires and obviously for the players. We need 3 pieces of equipment for this. Number 1, we're gonna need our string. Number 2, we're gonna need a hammer. And number 3, we're gonna need our chalk machine. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find my string, and if it's one of the strings that's from the field kits, for instance at Oriole, you're gonna have a peg attached to it. If not, you can just do it by having somebody hold one end of it. And we're gonna go right to the back of the plate, and I'm just gonna pound this down. And all the measurements are from the very back point of the plate. So this is actually important, that the actual field dimensions all come from this back point of the plate. So I'm just gonna walk all the way out the first baseline. Gonna line up my first baseline. Now, what we are going to see is, you will see at the grass, that'll be the start of the outfield lines. So you will always see a white mark where the infield line has been drawn into the outfield line, and that's how you know you're in the right spot. A second thing to look for will be, as you can see here, we have the button which covers the shaft for the drop bases. And you want this line to be just on the outside of the base, because that's what determines what fair territory is for this game. And the fair territory is going to be officially based on where the outside of the base is, and that's why our line has to line up with the outside of the base. Now, fortunately, at some of the fields, such as Oriole, we have the drop bases, so you don't have to worry about location, but that's why the location of that line is very important, because it determines where the playing field actually is. So now I'm gonna go back to get my chalking machine, and I'm gonna draw a line. Okay, so if you did decide to do the optional batter's boxes in step number 3, where you're gonna start your line will be at the top end of the batter's box, okay? So wherever this line crosses the top of the batter's box, that's where you're gonna start your line. If you didn't, you can just eyeball it and start it a few feet in front, just so the line doesn't come down where the batters are actually gonna be standing. So we do have a batter's box, so I'm gonna get my chalking machine lined up right here. And sometimes for these blue ones, you might want to use the second location here, because that will give you a bit more chalk. So if you find there's not enough chalk coming out, just go down to the bottom one, and that'll give you a thicker line. And now we're just going to go all the way down here. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and have the outside edge of the line hitting the string, because it's that outside edge of the line that marks the actual fair territory, and that's going to help the umpires to make sure that we get that right. So here we are, we make it all the way into the outfield, we'll turn the chalk machine off, and you look back, and now we've got a nice straight line. Okay, so we're ready to do the third baseline, and again, you want the outside of the line to touch the string, because that marks the fair territory for your playing surface. And don't worry if it's not actually perfect. What really matters is just that you use the string. What you don't want to do is just eyeball it, because you won't be able to get a good line, and that will look a little bit odd. But as long as you've got the string and you pretty much keep close to it, you'll be fine. You'll get a good line, and it'll look really good for the players, and the umpires will be able to call a good game. So, Tim from North Toronto, play safe and have fun.